We have a tool called Mind's Eye that we're making available to developers at the event, where you can just type prompts, and out of the box you get a computer vision system that can recognize them. So instead of collecting thousands of images,
Wow,
you replace this with prompt engineering. And so this is one of the
that's
innovations
incredible.
that's coming out of our AI team.
Welcome to Business Ninjas, brought to you by WriteForMe, where you'll hear from business leaders who are out there growing their business and slaying it every day. Learn from the masters. Let's get started.
Hey everybody, this is John Gerard with the Business Ninjas podcast, and I have a really exciting episode for you today. I've got with me Dmitriy Starson, who's the founder and CEO of Passio.ai. You will notice in their domain .ai, they are in the middle of a white hot space right now, and Dmitriy is going to talk to us a little bit about the AI space, about what Passio is doing, and about how to market in a white hot space. So Dmitriy, welcome to the program.
Thank you so much. Very excited to be here.
Wonderful. So maybe we could just start off. Tell us a little bit about yourself. You've got a scientific background and have been playing in this space for quite a while. Tell us a little bit about your background.
Absolutely. Yes, I did start my career in academic research. I spent the first part of my career doing research at Space Telescope Science Institute in Baltimore, the organization responsible for Hubble Space Telescope and right now James Webb. And
Wow.
Then I had a unique opportunity to do my doctoral research at Caltech, and I spent the beginning parts basically of my career doing research there, working on astrophysics, structure formation, particle physics. Worked with a lot of absolutely incredible scientists, and also in the early days had a chance to work on high performance computing and astrophysical simulations at Harvard CFA, Center for Astrophysics. So it was a lot of research, a lot of very deep theoretical physics, astrophysics, mathematics, and but through all of my childhood and during my academic days as well, one of the central passions of my life has been making impact on the society, and I've been always passionate about things like sustainability, artificial intelligence, compute, and space exploration. Out of Caltech, I started my first company, Escape Dynamics, with just absolutely amazing group of co-founders, Sean McGuire, Richard Shaden, and Letitia Garriott were involved, working very, very closely with me. And we started Escape as an effort to build the world's first single stage to orbit spaceship. So
Wow.
we were working on absolutely incredible tech. We had a team of Caltech and MIT PhDs and an amazing team around us. We built propulsion systems with efficiencies that were significantly above chemical rockets, and it was just an absolutely moonshot effort. It got us on the covers of magazines, it got us into the news, but unfortunately at the time we were not able to get it to commercialization. As you can guess, aerospace companies are absurdly expensive to run and operate.
Yeah.
And we were a little bit early in the game. We were basically building single stage to orbit before SpaceX was able to successfully land Falcon. So we were essentially a few years early in the game. And I was also much more immature as the founder. So it was a little bit more challenging for me at that time to raise. We needed hundreds of millions of dollars. We raised tens of millions, but we needed a lot more. And so it was an absolutely phenomenal effort with significant impact that built a wonderful community around it. But that was a little bit early, so that chapter of my adventures in life will continue.
It's really hard to be early on these things. I've been early a couple times myself, and if you don't hit it just right, it can be a challenge. So, one of the things I'm putting together here as we kind of move into this next phase of your career here with Passio and AI, I mean, you've been right in the middle of some of the biggest things to happen or to be happening in science. I mean, if you're talking about particle physics at the time when we were looking for the God particle. You're talking about
exactly.
Revolutionizing space flight at the time that SpaceX was just becoming ascendant, and now here you are again with AI. I hear AI is having a hot moment. So tell us a little bit about Passio and how you got involved in it.
Yeah, so we started Passio. I started the company out of Stanford Research Institute with just absolutely amazing help from SRI Ventures and many remarkable scientists and executives at SRI who trusted me and believed in the vision. What's interesting, it was we started to explore the company a few years before AI became really hot, and so it was absolutely clear to me that the 2020s will be the age when artificial intelligence will be dominating the zeitgeist and will finally mature enough to make a giant impact on the society. I didn't know when exactly and how, but it was pretty clear to me that the development of AI technologies, and especially mobile AI systems, will personalize the artificial intelligence solutions that run on user phones and are personalized to users and help us with everyday decisions, will be extremely, extremely critical and important. We made a very early bet on running AI on the edge and mobile, and we've developed systems that are allowing us right now to essentially provide vision, computer vision, into applications that are powered by large language models used today. So it was clear to me, it was not obvious to me that we would be that the development of models like ChatGPT and large language models and essentially models that are currently pioneered by OpenAI. It wasn't obvious to me at the time that this would be, how quickly that would evolve, but it was pretty clear to me that regardless of the speed of development, artificial intelligence will need, there will be a substantial need for personalized AI and AI that runs on edge devices, and that's what we focused on the company. So the vision and the mission for Passio, the way we established it, was to build the developer environment and enable developers and companies to rapidly build and deploy mobile AI applications at scale. So that's what we focused on. In retrospect,
but I think it's
good.
So look, you weren't the only one who missed the timing of this, right? I think that this has taken us all by surprise.
Google missed the timing, so I don't feel myself as bad.
This feels to me like the Bill Gates moment around the beginning of the internet, where Microsoft missed the internet, and I don't know that Google has missed AI, but boy, they sure seem like they're behind all of a sudden. So maybe tell us a little bit, if you could, because I want to really get into what you do to stand out in an environment like this, where this stuff is exploding at the pace that it is. Now, you have a unique advantage, it seems like, in the marketplace, in the sense that you guys have been doing this, since before it was cool, right? Since before ChatGPT and OpenAI and all of the, frankly, pretty justified hype about what's going on. Maybe we could start, though, just so everybody understands a little bit more about what you do. You gave me a really good example around MyFitnessPal and what you do for them, and I think that might really help people understand. Tell us how Passio works with MyFitnessPal and what the technology does on a mobile device for somebody who has MyFitnessPal.
Yeah. So overall, what Passio enables, we enable computer vision systems and advisor technologies to run on user mobile phones. We developed several verticals. One of them is AI nutritionist. Another one is AI sales assistant for home remodel products. But we also have a platform that allows creation and deployment of any vertical. But inside, in the nutrition space, what we developed is a computer vision system that allows you to point your phone at foods, packaged foods, unpackaged foods, food labels, nutrition labels, menus at the restaurant, raw foods, cooked foods. Essentially, we developed what we believe to be, as far as we know, the most powerful computer vision system in food that allows you to point your phone at the foods in different representations, from raw to cooked to packaged to just foods written in the menu. And the AI interprets that food and allows users to take action. So that essentially is the common theme across all of the products that Passio develop. We augment reality with data. We take the input of the video, we analyze that video, we give the developer information about what's in that video, and we allow developers to build solutions useful for people. In the case of MyFitnessPal, for example, we allow developer to point the phone at the food is recognized, and users of MyFitnessPal can log that food without typing, without the need to type, because AI helps them to identify the food. Another example would be assisting to doctors. So, for example, you point your phone at your skin with a ailment or a concern. AI analyzes, okay, this is just a poison ivy. You don't need to worry about that, right? Or no, this could be something more serious. Call your doctor and things like that. So essentially, what we enable is highly accurate ability to and fast ability for developers to analyze the input of cameras and produce an information overlay over that. So augmenting reality with data. Another example would be, just to finish the thought, with MyFitnessPal, we support essentially typing-free logging. And with the same SDK, some of our other customers use that same SDK to do other things in nutrition space. So, for example, you point your phone at the food, and it gives a real-time recommendation of it shows how many carbs in that food. That's kind of important for diabetes use case. Or in the case of our work with Sydney Health, we enable full end-to-end tracking and creation of meal logs that later can be shared with doctors and providers. So this is very important to unleash the power of nutrition data in healthcare. In the case of people who do fasting with Simple Life, another application that we're privileged to power, in their case, we support essentially people logging their meals without really going into nutritional details. They just log because they need to know when and how and what they ate during the non-fasting periods and things along those lines. So there can be different use cases for food recognition. Another obvious use case for food recognition is we did a project, for example, with Bosch, where we analyze images and videos that come from a fridge, from a refrigerator. So instead of, because refrigerators are typically low power and they typically have just a camera, it's expensive to put a processor inside of the fridge and frankly unnecessary. So we will take the data from a home appliance and analyze it in real time on the phone. And the food recognition is also important because you want to know what's inside of your fridge, for example, to replenish your fridge ahead of time or to recommend your recipes. So that's kind of how it evolved. And we very quickly realized that you can do it for anything, not just food. And that's how basically we expanded into so many other verticals, so many other applications. Especially, I would be delighted to talk more about what we do with in the AR space with retail, with the Pace retail.
So this is amazing. So what I'm hearing is that by putting these models in a mobile device, you unlock all kinds of capabilities that would otherwise be impossible. So you put the power of this kind of extremely accurate and powerful image recognition into everybody's hands that has a mobile device. And I think if I understand the way that this all works correctly, the training data sets for even the food use case must be enormous. I mean, I don't know how many images you need to train against to get be able to accurately say, well, that's a plate of peas, but it strikes me that it's probably pretty big. And so to be able to sort of take all the learning from that and to get it into a mobile format, that sounds like an incredible innovation.
So it's actually a great point. There are several things that I think are interesting from your question. One of the things that you mentioned is the value that we bring in terms of putting this on device. There are several very unique aspects of why it is important to put computer vision on device to run on the mobile phone of the user. First is privacy. So when we do recognition of your skin condition, or recognition of your food, or recognition of your medication, the analysis never flows into the cloud. And that basically by default protects your privacy. And there is a lot of use cases where you do not want your camera information to be fed into Google or Amazon or Apple. The second important part of that is there's a lot of scenarios where we don't have internet connection. My favorite example is I live in the heart of Silicon Valley, and very often when I drive on the streets of Silicon Valley, I do not have internet connection. So
in that way, as long as there have been cell phones, I've been in the Valley for a lot of my career, and I don't know why, but the worst cell coverage in the entire known universe is on Sand Hill Road. It's the strangest thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hear you. Maybe nobody wanted cell towers, I guess.
But the real non-facetious example would be, let's say you want to analyze an IED in the field in Iraq or Afghanistan. There you definitely don't have connection, and that's where, or you want an AI advisor to analyze any case of a car damage in a desert. Those are the cases where lack of kind of AI needs to be able to perform and needs to be smart enough to operate independently without the connection to the cloud.
My goodness, that's powerful.
So that's the second. That's the second pillar. And there is the third one, which is also pretty powerful, which is our use case of home remodel. When you are scanning your home, in order to recognize all of the objects in the home and enable intelligent sales advice, for example, what paints should I buy? Computer vision, we have good Wi-Fi, but what we do, we analyze videos at 60 frames per second, and we do reality augmentation. We repaint your walls with different colors, or we put a real-time couch. And what wouldn't be possible in this case, even though the connectivity is good, streaming 4K video over which you want to overlay augmented reality information is not practical. And so using AI on device to do the analysis, computer vision analysis, enables those types of augmented reality application. In the food case, for example, we do augmented reality over food, and an alternative cases in the older applications would be to take a picture, send the picture to the cloud, the image comes back, the recognition is wrong, you need to send this again and again and again. So putting computer vision to run on device offers those three very, very powerful: privacy, ability to operate in restricted connectivity environments, or in Palo Alto, depending on which side of the spectrum you're on. And the third one is augmented reality applications.
Amazing.
And there's also a price consideration at some point. If you're analyzing like too much information, you don't like moving the compute to the edge saves dollars, but that's kind of if you are only analyzing way too much data, then it matters.
And I think it's nice to be able to use those edge cycles, because otherwise my phone's just sitting in my pocket, not actually doing anything useful. So well, that's really cool. So let's move the conversation over for a minute to our passion, which is telling stories about businesses and how you tell your story. We are fundamentally about kind of marketing and growth stories. I think best technologies in the world without a good story behind them have trouble getting out there. You guys clearly have told your story well because you're out there. What are you doing right now in this, white hot environment with AI to stand out? You clearly have a track record in AI that is better than everybody else who has started in the last 90 days or 180 days, or you've been around for longer than that. At the same time, there's a lot of noise, and I know you've got a conference coming up. Those listeners who hear this right when it comes out, it may be happening right at the same time as the conference. Otherwise, it will have been in the past at some point. That seems like one way to get the word out. But what do you do when there's so much noise right now to stand out?
Yeah, this is an outstanding question. So, doing the podcast and trying to get on podcasts and talk to people is one. We are all, and being helpful to the community of AI developers is another. So, AI and development of this new technologies, one of the very, very powerful parts of it is that is driven significantly. This innovation is driven from the bottoms up by the community, because the barrier to of entry is actually becoming lower and lower and lower, even for giant foundation models, because of how the space evolved. It's been open. It's been largely open to the community. There's a lot of opportunities to be helpful to others. So, for example, there's just an absolutely remarkable community of AI creative on Twitter right now, and the entire space is exploding like crazy. And everybody's sharing their creations, but not just to showcase, but everybody's sharing their knowledge and their prompt. And we had an opportunity to present at Hugging Face event in San Francisco. Hugging Face, the entire company, the premise of the company was open source and supporting the community. And we are somewhere in between. We are definitely open sourcing a lot of our tools right now, but we're also the way we started the company by supporting large enterprise clients, and that's what kind of both has been both a negative, a positive, a giant positive for us, and to some extent an anchor, because whenever you get locked into a certain business model, you typically become blindsided to other business models, and this is why we are not as well known or as disruptive as others can be. But on the other hand, we've been operating as a sustainable, economically sustainable company, generating significant revenues. So it's, if I figured out like the full correct answer to that question, my life would be much easier right now. We haven't yet fully figured out. The way I've historically been thinking about this is that if you build good software, if you take care of your customers, and if you build systems, that's where your work speaks for yourself. That's kind of builds success. But I'm also realizing that it's not enough. Yes, we do have the best computer vision system in nutrition and food. But it is definitely not enough, and so especially recently, one of my job description kind of always as a CEO, my thing, as the founder, your job actually is, I think about it as a flywheel. You basically build product, sell product, raise money, hire people, and then it kind of goes
repeat.
You just need to be doing those things faster and faster, and ideally at the same time. So now, as the founder, I am in my marketing mode, trying to get the word out about Passio for the first time. And for me, one of the challenges has been I don't like promoting things when I'm not 100% confident that our stuff is the best, and that's been an element that basically slowed us down as a company. Many people raise money on ideas. Many people raise money just because they are phenomenal communicators, and I understand that. I respect that. It just has been historically more challenging for me. It's been much easier for me to develop. I'm coming from the technical scientific background. I like building things, but right now I'm doing, essentially for the past couple of months, I shifted my role into the role of promoting what we've been doing and communicating the work that we've been doing, building the community. We are organizing the developer event, and the developer event on May 4th at Stanford Research Institute, the SRI. We will feature many of my friends. We've got the absolutely stellar keynote speaker, Danny Lang, who runs AI at Unity, one of the most unique companies that is building the future.
It sure is.
And we are trying to also help the community. So we've got an amazing setup where we invite startups to showcase their work alongside with Passio's work. We are promoting a lot of educational campaigns. So for example, we're partnering with Andrew Ng's deeplearning.ai to promote their courses at the event and give discounts to the community. We're doing similar thing with Augmented Startups, another educational organization. So essentially, we're basically trying to help community while at the same time making sure that the community knows that Passio exists and start using our tools. It needs to be back and forth, especially in the AI. If you just try to take things, it doesn't work. If you just try to give things, also doesn't work. So you need to kind of find that balance, find a middle ground.
That's fascinating. So let me ask you to do this, because most people I think who hear this are going to hear it after the event. So pretend that it's after the event, and you're looking back on your May 4th, 2023 event, and it was fantastic. And you wanted to share 3 things from that event that you found most interesting. Either, a keynote that was particularly interesting. So I know I'm asking you to project into the future here a little bit, but what would you say?
It's definitely, it's actually easy.
What was your event like? Yeah. Okay. Tell me.
It's actually pretty easy to imagine. So the event is structured in a very interesting way. So we have a keynote by Danny, who will be talking about the future of AGI. And artificial general intelligence, it will be evolving as the next step. So far we've combined computer vision and language models into those giant foundation models that understand both vision and voice and language. The next thing is adding reinforcement learning into this. And the reinforcement learning, what it allows you to ask ChatGPT to accomplish a task, and it goes and accomplishes a task. There are models that are starting to do this, but the models that we're seeing right now with AutoGPT are more of a for loops that are essentially kind of in the right direction, but not really. There will need to be another step. And a lot of that step will come from training reinforcement learning systems together with large language models. And Unity is actually doing a lot of work in this direction, especially in the direction of putting AIs into physics-based systems. So
what's your number 2?
So the number 2 is actually a question very similar to what you asked. We've got a panel where I'm inviting investors and the brightest people I know to ask them the question, how do you build a company in the age where AI is evolving at the speed that's beyond comprehension of the smartest people? Like, it feels to me that everything that Ray Kurzweil predicted in his 1980s book, The Singularity is Near, is coming to pass. So he defines singularity.
I think the singularity is very, very, very near is what's happening.
That's right. And it feels like it's more near each day. He defines singularity essentially as the place where, or the point in time when the change is happening so rapidly that it becomes difficult to predict what will happen in the next moment. And that's essentially how it feels right now. It feels to me that the change is happening so rapidly that it's becoming more and more difficult to predict. So how do you build a company, especially a software company, when you don't know what will happen in the next few days, right? When the change is so fast, how do you invest in a software startup when you don't know whether the software startup will be completely obsolete in just a few short months or weeks? Do you?
That's going to be a great question.
So this is one of the panels. This is one of the panels that we will be exploring.
I'm reminded. I'm sorry to interject. I'm reminded of a tweet I saw just today, which was this team that said, "We're very, very proud to launch XYZ product. We've been working incredibly hard on it for a whole week." And
right,
and that's just it, right? Like that's exactly right.
And how do you build because the whole idea of investment world of VCs is you invest into something, it becomes big, and then you monetize it.
Yes.
But right now it becomes just more and more and more challenging, and the companies that are becoming big, they become like flashes in the night. With this company that I don't remember their name, but most of us probably experimented with them to build your selfie, an app that built you a selfie with the stable diffusion. They launched the app. They just did a full arbitrage. They used the backend of either it was Stable Diffusion or DALL-E or something like this. So they didn't do significant software. They got to hundreds of millions of dollars in sales, and then because it's not, there was absolutely zero defensibility in what they did. Everybody copied them. So the value of the enterprise long term is. But the short term, it's a giant spike. You catch this wave, and you basically you're kind of done for life.
Yeah, was that Lensa? Is that right?
Lensa, yeah. Everybody, I think everybody.
And everybody, it's incredible. And so that was more of a marketing exercise than anything. So before we get to number 3, I'm curious: are you going to be recording this conference? Are these panels?
So the entire event will be streamed. We've got worldwide community of customers and partners and developers. Some of our customers are in Europe. We've got customers in Saudi Arabia with our work with Jazeera Paints. And so we are a global company. We've got also employees worldwide. And so the event, everything that we do is typically recorded and streamed. So and with this event, no exception.
We'll include that information in the show notes here so that when it's distributed, and I'm already, I know I'm going to be clicking on that panel and checking that out.
It will be a very interesting discussion. Yes.
So then third takeaway, it's a few months down the line, you're looking back. What was the third one will be, important thing?
We will try to engage as many developers as possible in using our Nutrition AI, Remodel AI, and Mobile AI platform technologies to build AI-powered apps that solve humanity's challenges and build a remarkable future. And so we will be doing a lot of demos. For the first time, we'll be showing Passio's technology in its full force. So historically, we've been very much under the hood. We've not been talking too much about the company. And this is our first opportunity to actually talk about us and show we've built a lot of amazing technologies, from smart refrigerator to smart oven to smart dishwasher to inventory control on airplanes to healthcare application. We've got a wide range of SDKs. We also created technology. One of the fun things that you mentioned earlier is that you need tremendous amount of data to train computer vision. Our platform, we developed a tool recently that allows you to move away from collecting giant amounts of data to just typing prompts. So historically, if you wanted to recognize your plate of pasta, you needed thousands of images of pasta. Right now, we have a tool called Mind's Eye that we're making available to developers at the event, where you can just type prompts for 20 different types of pasta and 100 other different types of foods. And out of the box, you get a computer vision system that can recognize them. So instead of collecting thousands of images,
wow,
you replace this with prompt engineering. And so this is one of the innovations that's coming out of our AI team, is to enable creation of apps with just prompt engineering. So I hope that this will be the number 3 outcome, is that the world will start, that we will become more visible to the world, that people will start talking about Passio as one of the companies that is powering the future of mobile AI applications. That's a big objective for this event. So those are our 3 targets.
That is a powerful 3 bullet points right there. And I don't know that I know enough about this space to call my shots on this one, but it sounds to me like you have a very, very good chance of achieving that number 3 and really making a mark on this space based on what you described today. This has been an amazing conversation. And all I can say is it makes me want to have another conversation, and another one, and another one. I've got probably 100 follow-up questions I'd like to ask. In order to make sure that we keep this within the time we've got, I'm going to have us sign off at this point. But I wanted to just thank you so much, Dmitriy, for sharing all this information, all your knowledge about this space. I'm in awe of what you've done and what you're doing, and I'm really excited to see how this event goes. And I'm going to consume every last minute of it that's published when it's available. So thank you so much for being on Business Ninjas with me today.
Thank you very much. I'm grateful for the time and the opportunity, and looking forward to participating in the future podcasts with you guys. I absolutely love you as hosts. So your
wonderful
narrative and the way to narrate things, I think, and the questions you've asked are amazing. I look forward to many future podcasts together.
I love it. We'll do it. Thanks, Dmitry.